Hi YouTube, doing a review of the Sig M400 today, and I'm Big Apple if you haven't noticed from the channel title. Today I'm doing the Sig M400 MOE, and I'm not positive if it's called the MOE. I'm pretty sure it is because Magpul likes to call things MOE when they have their furniture on it, their foregrips, stocks, grips, whatever. And this one, you can get it in the standard plain black as it's shown right here, or you can get flat dark earth furniture instead, and of course you can add that later. That's how it would come from the factory. So it feels pretty much like any other AR. It does feel very quality though, so the use for this rifle, pretty much like any other AR-15 carbine, meaning 16 inches or less, good close quarters gun, good mid-range, duty caliber gun, just 5.56 basic AR. So this would be a good home defense carbine. This would be good for, as a defensive carbine for regular ranges within, 200-300 yards, way out if you're that wild about it. But anyway, just like any other 16-inch AR, that's the purpose of this gun. I think it would be best as a hunting rifle or as a home defense gun. So trigger, well, it feels just like any other AR factory trigger, but it is crisp. It's around 6 pounds or so. This one has a Timney trigger in it right here. As you can see that shape, that's Timney. But I'll be doing a review of that in a separate video so I don't waste too much time. So the lower receiver, very, very tight fit. It actually has a spring-loaded pin in there. So let me show you how that works. So it does make it a little bit harder to get apart. As you can see, those pins have a lot more tension on them, and it takes a little bit more effort to get them to pop out. All right, so the spring-loaded pin is right here behind the hammer. I don't know if my camera will focus. There you go. You can see that pin in there. And that's spring-loaded, and it pushes on this section of the upper receiver to keep the tight fit. It's supposed to make the gun shoot more accurately. I think it's a crock of crap. I just think it makes the gun fit tighter. I don't think there's any real difference in accuracy, because your accuracy is dependent on how tight the upper receiver is fitted to the barrel and the quality of the barrel and the weight of the ammo. It really doesn't have much to do with how tight this is fit. But, then again, it does make it feel really good. There's no slop in it at all. It's very tightly fitted. So, it is what it is, and that's how Sig wants to do their rifle. You've also got some quick disconnect points, which I think is pretty awesome. They're actually milled into the receiver. You can see one right here, and then there's one on the other side too if you're a lefty. So that's really neat, and it does have some other ambi features, just like this ambidextrous mag release. You can see right here you can release it there and here, and I do love the very thick shaping around these releases. See how thick it is right there. There wouldn't be any accidental pushing of the mag releases in there. So it also has some texturing and really hard ramps on the edges of the mag well. So as you can see right here on the front of the mag well, man, this camera's terrible. Right here, there's some ridges cut in. Maybe you can see those, and it would be good for those that like to shoot like this and really get up in there. For close quarters, makes it more maneuverable, gives you good traction, and the mag well is really thick around the bottom right there. So I do really like that also. That's really nice. So also has a raised safety on the right side. So if you look, standard safety here, whatever. And then if you look at the right side, it does have an indicator there. So, if you can't feel it for whatever reason with your thumb, you can feel it with your index finger and tell if it's on safe or fire. So that's kind of a neat feature too. It has a commercial buffer tube. I don't know how much people are going to hate that or love it. I've never had a problem with AR commercial buffer tubes. I don't put a whole lot of stock into the whole mil-spec thing. I mean, yeah, it makes parts more interchangeable, but that doesn't make this any less functional. I think a standard commercial buffer tube is perfectly fine. So it also has a double paddle bolt release. You can see right here, it makes it a little bit easier to lock it back. When you're pushing on it and pulling the charging handle, it makes it lock back a little bit better having both of these surfaces here. But for whatever reason, and the only issue he's really had with this rifle, if you hit it really hard on the surface without any tension on the bolt, like with a magazine in it, it'll close. And I don't know if that has to do with it being a little bit sloped on the edge and not as hard of an angle or whatever, but that is something he noticed. So I'm sure if he contacts Sig or you know, these, you could find these bolt releases anywhere. I'm sure if you replace that, that problem would go away. So that is one little issue, but the functionality of the gun really hasn't changed. It's just, it is what it is. So onto the upper. You've got M4 feed ramps and a similar M4 profile. I'm not sure if this is technically M4 profile officially, but it looks really similar. Kind of a medium to light weight barrel with, you know, with some tapering and stuff here and here, and I'm sure it has some sort of taper under the handguard, but it's a good feel. It doesn't make the rifle overly heavy. I'm going to get to weight a little bit later. So has a 1-to-7 twist, which is nice if you want to shoot heavy military ammo. It has a standard A2 birdcage flash hider and gas block, so you got your fixed sight here, and he actually has a Michelek compensator on this rifle. And he said besides it being super loud and putting out some serious concussion, it does have some decent compensating capability, so it lessens the recoil even more. And so I'm sure you could, you know, put all shots on something that small with this awesome setup and the way he's got this trigger on here and everything. So anyway, also in the upper receiver, standard charging handle, nothing special. It does come with a rear sight, and I'm sure you've noticed this EOTech sight setup. That'll be for another video. But you can see the sight right here. Like any other iron sight, it looks really well built, very thick. It says made in the USA on it. I guess that's Sig sight. Has two different kinds of peeps, and of course you can co-witness just like with any other iron sight. So it feels quality. If you do want to shoot this with irons directly from the factory, that is easily doable. So it also has forward assist, just like any other modern AR, although a lot have deemed it's really not that necessary. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, who knows. And then it has what they call an extractor support pin. I read this from an article about this rifle, and it says they have an extra pin that holds the extractor in place if there's an overpressure condition. And although I've never seen you know, a kaboom on an AR before, they said it's supposed to hold that extractor in place and prevent it from blowing off if there is an overpressure condition. So I read that. I haven't had any experience with it. We haven't purposely overcharged a case and put it in here, but you know, that's what they state. So I would assume that's probably fine. Probably helps out. So on to the MOE part, the Magpul furniture. I really like the MOE handguard. Really, really like the MOE handguard. It's slim, it's rugged, it's lightweight, and it allows you to add small Picatinny rail sections. And you can see he put an AFG on it. Magpul angled foregrip, AFG, for those of y'all that don't know. So when I shoot this rifle, I like to get my thumb really high because I'm used to doing that shooting a pistol. I don't do this thing like like you see some competition shooters do. I just get a good pull like this and pull it into my shoulder with my thumb a little bit high. And I like this thin handguard. I'm really not a fan of quad rail handguards because you're not going to use all that space unless you're in the military and you've got 50 gizmos and gadgets on it. This is perfectly fine. It's minimal. Oh, you say you want to add a lighter laser? Well, add a little section of rail and stick it right there. And you're still keeping the rest of this slim and lightweight. So I really like this design, just like I would like any other free-floating tubular handguard that has holes where you can add your own Picatinny rail sections without having the bulkiness and the weight of a quad rail. I like this handguard, so it is what it is, and I like the slimness. I'm a big fan of that. The MIAD grip. It's a good grip. I kind of prefer the Hogue. I do like that it has a compartment on the bottom. I think they actually make some Hogues now that have compartments in them. And this one looks like it's fixed. Some of the other handguards. Actually, you know what? I think this is an MOE. Okay, yeah, this is an MOE handguard. This isn't a MIAD. Whoops, my bad. So on the MIAD grip, you have interchangeable back straps to change the size of this, and this one's fixed. So MOE handguard. I was wrong. I'll put an annotation to correct that before I get off on it too far. So I like that grip. It's functional. It's a huge improvement over the standard A2 grip you see, and all the other mil-spec stuff on rifles. But I like the Hogue because I feel like it fits my hand a little better, and it's rubber, so I get better traction. MOE Stock. This one I think is a bit loose. It's good for the money. It's a good improvement over a standard A2 stock. You can see a lot of wiggle. Not hugely significant, but there is wiggle. I prefer a Magpul ACS or a CTR because both of those have a little extra part right up here in the front that allows you to lock it in place. So I kind of prefer an ACS or CTR because it locks in a little harder. But like I said, the MOE is a lot better than than what you would get on another factory rifle with that stupid looking thing and no butt pad on the back. So I do like the MOE, and if you're getting all this furniture, that's a good thing to get too. It also comes with a PMag. It may come with 2. I'm not sure how many, but if you're not familiar with them, they're great. This is a 20 rounder. I know you're probably thinking that looks really small on that rifle. Well, it's because it's a 20 round PMag. So they do make 20, 30 round. They just released a 40 round, and I'm sure they've got plans to do something else. But PMags are the best AR mags on the market, bar none. I haven't seen any that perform better. So it's good that it comes with that. So overall, how do I feel about it? Well, I haven't done a whole lot of extended shooting with it, but it has a really good weight. It's slightly over 7 pounds unloaded, which is really, really good for a 16-inch carbine. I think most of them are probably in that competitive range, but the M4 profile-ish barrel and just all the other features really aren't that heavy. So it's a really good defensive carbine. It has lots of good features for a defensive carbine, and I kind of like all the little gizmos and gadgets it comes with. So if you're looking for something that has the real features I see stand out, has the molded quick disconnect points. It comes with all this Magpul furniture. It's real rugged around the mag well. It's got ambi mag release, so if you're a lefty and you want to shoot a right-handed AR, this one will be decent. Although Stag and Rock River both make fully left-handed ARs, and it's decent for ambi, and it's just a good basic AR. I like the Timney trigger that he put in it. I like the Michelette compensator, and I think this sighting system's pretty cool too. But I'm going to go into more details of those in a later video. So this is Big Apple signing out, and if you have questions, just post in the comments.